What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the first episode of the 2026 season of Around the Track with the Riders NASCAR podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first two races so far. Of course, you got me, the host, SterlingRider, along with my co-host, Duke Rider.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Lots to talk about. Do you want to start with the races, or you want to start with the breaking news that just happened the past few days?
Well, normally we start with the news, so I would say start with the news. So,
all right. Well, NASCAR is back in session.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We thought we were done in December when the 2311 for Aero Motorsports versus NASCAR was concluded. But here we are with Joe Gibbs Racing dropping a lawsuit on Chris Gabehart. And today it was amended to include Spire Motorsports. And they also asked for basically a restraining order or a cease and desist of Chris Gabehart working for Spire Motorsports for the next 18 months. All of this is due to Chris Gabehart leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and going to work for Spire Motorsports. And they are accusing him of stealing basically trade secrets, setups, and other things pertaining to the Joe Gibbs Racing team and Toyota development information and car and setups and wind tunnel testing and just all kinds of different stuff. So Chris Gabehart has come out and adamantly denied the accusations. He has said that Spire Motorsports had offered JGR to come in and do an audit themselves on the Spire equipment and computers. Apparently JGR denied that opportunity. From what Gabehart said is they had an outside company come in and do an audit on their computers and stuff and to find and they offered that information to Joe Gibbs Racing. Apparently Joe Gibbs I don't know if they didn't accept it or didn't like what they found, but either which way, they have filed a lawsuit against Chris Gabehart and Spire Motorsports. So it's going to be fun to see how this one goes. My advice to our listeners is to go on X if you do not have an X account and make an X account and follow Jeff Gluck. And Bob Pockrass and Shannon McMenemy, who was somebody that she's a lawyer that Jeff Gluck is friends with, and she has already provided a lot of insight on this case and what it looks like. Because they're going to be able to cover this a lot better than we are. And man, just when you thought it was over, they drag us back in.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say on this. I only saw that the lawsuit announcement and then Chris's statement against it, of course, false, saying it was a very false allegation, but I did see something earlier today from Door Bumper Clear when Blaney was on the show talking about how, some people say he did it, some people say he didn't do it, and then one of them was explaining, well, I mean, if you're say you're an NFL coach on a football team, you go to coach another team, you're going to take your playbook with you. Which is a good way to kind of put that, if what happened is actually happening. If I was coaching any sports team and I went to coach another team, I would take my playbook with me. That's a part of me as a coach, so not the team. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that kind of makes me question all of this is, okay, they accuse Chris Gabehart of linking his personal Google Drive to JGR computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and had a folder in this Google Drive called Spire. Okay, either Chris Gabehart is a complete and absolute idiot, which I don't believe he is, because you see what the races they won did him. Uh, so I don't think he's a complete idiot. Or this isn't necessarily a something that he did on purpose to steal information. It's just, something that he did because that's probably just what he does. A lot of competition directors probably do that so that they can move files, around with their office computer and their traveling laptop and stuff like that. So I don't see any kind of malicious intent with that, unless he's just a complete moron, and I don't think he's a complete moron.
No.
Um, the other thing this is my personal opinion, um, and even they even mentioned you mentioned Door Bumper Clear. They even talked about this on Door Bumper Clear. Um, Ty Gibbs and Chris Gabehart clashed a lot last year,
Yep.
when Chris Gabehart was crew chiefing for that 54 car. Um, Chris Gabehart did say this was retaliation, against him, and seeing as how this isn't the first clash that Ty Gibbs has had with somebody that has negatively impacted their career. Corey Heim, for example. Um, this being retaliatory, I could actually see that being the case.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I believe that they went to Chris Gabehart and said, look, uh, we want you to continue to work with Ty. And Chris was like, he was probably pretty adamant about, I'm not going to work with him anymore. Um, you know, and let's face it, we have seen Ty, because Grandpa owns the team, act like a spoiled brat before.
Mm-hmm.
Back when he was in the Xfinity Series and wrecked his teammate, kept his teammate from making the championship four because he had to be a spoiled brat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this very well could be a case of Chris just said, I'm not doing it. You can fire me if you want to. I'm not doing it. So they fired him.
Yeah.
And like you said, any NFL coach, any NBA coach, any uh, baseball coach, whatever the sport is, they're taking their playbook. They're not going to leave it in the clubhouse
Right.
for the next coach to come in. And that is exactly how I view this. They fired him. He said, "Okay, you fire me. Guess what? I'm taking my stuff with you. You can figure it out on your own." And that rubbed Joe Gibbs Racing the wrong way. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Definitely going to be more to come to that story for sure.
Yeah. So the Shannon, I really don't want to butcher her McMinimy, I think is how they pronounce her name. The lawyer that Jeff Gluck brought on the teardown quite a bit during NASCAR 2025. We'll just call this NASCAR 2026, right?
Yeah.
um, she has pointed out some very poignant things on this lawsuit. So go give her a follow on X and Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. Calling it X is like I'm just the alphabet, Um, but yeah, go follow her. She seems to think that this is going to move very quickly. Not as slow as the 2311 versus NASCAR thing went. She thinks it's going to move very quickly. A lot of the industry insiders believe that there will be a settlement before this ever, uh, reaches the courthouse. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out.
Yep. Absolutely. Excuse me. Yeah. So continuing on, there really isn't that much news to talk about, to be fair.
No, not yet, but I will tell you, be prepared because this is gearing up to be a very, very, very busy silly season.
Absolutely.
A
Absolutely.
lot of drivers' contracts are up at the end of this year.
Yep.
And there, I predict, this is my prediction, there's going to be a lot of movement in the Cup Series, in the O'Reilly Series, and in the Truck Series with drivers moving up, drivers moving down, drivers moving across to another team in the same series. Um, there's going to be promotions and demotions across all three of the series.
Yep. Yep. I can agree. So I only have three other things news-wise, and one is just kind of meh. It's not really news, but it's something that's on the table, according to Steve O'Donnell. Midweek races and shorter schedules. Your thoughts on that being a possibility?
I'm all for midweek races. I am not for shorter schedules.
Oh,
Now, if the midweek races pause shorter schedules in like timeline, like we're able to shrink the season down, I'm okay with that. If we're removing races from the season, I am not okay with that.
so,
I think the 36
yeah.
uh, Cup races is good. And then with the 2X, now I wouldn't have a problem with them combining the Clash and the All Star race,
Yeah.
shorten the schedule that way. And what I would say is eliminate the Clash altogether. The first let the first time cars are on track be for the in a race situation be the duels for the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but yeah, as far as midweek races, I'm okay with that. I do not have a problem with that. I'm not sure how that would work with the other series though, because you got trucks on Friday night, O'Reilly on Saturday, and Cup on Sunday, right? So how are you going to do a midweek? Are you going to have okay? So the trucks raced on Friday night. Are they going to race on Monday night, and then O'Reilly's on Tuesday, and then Cup on Wednesday? I mean, how's that going to work? Are you going to run all three races in the same day? You would obviously have to do that with a track with lights, because you're going to have your Cup race in prime time. So how's that going to work? Personally, I don't think that would work very well for the ratings for the other two series for sure. Um, if you want to look at TV ratings or attendance, I don't think it would be a good thing for attendance wise.
Ah.
People at the track, midweek races. It worked. It worked during COVID because people couldn't go to the track, right?
Right.
They weren't letting people go to the. They weren't letting fans go to the track, so it worked during that. I don't think it would work attendance wise, ticket sales wise, merchandise sales wise, midweek races for the Cup Series. I just don't see it working because it's not the rich folks going to the races. It's the middle class. It's the working class. The blue collar workers are the ones that are going to the races. They're saving up to make 1-2 races a year, and they can't take a Tuesday and a Wednesday off to go to a race. They can take a Friday off, but they can't take a Tuesday and a Wednesday off.
Right.
So I don't think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. So I really don't think it would work.
My of course, like you said, you mentioned they did it during COVID with the Cup races, which worked out well because it was one to catch back up to a somewhat regular season schedule, and also, as you said, fans weren't allowed at the tracks anyway. So attendance-wise at the tracks, yes, it would absolutely be horrible. In my opinion, if they were to do midweek races, Cup only, leave the trucks and O'Reilly's Friday and Saturdays, have them once a week. If you're going to have the midweek races with one of the series, make it Cup. And I agree, if, as long as it's 36 races, in my opinion, and 36 races on the schedule, there's because of the midweek races, it becomes shorter because of that. Okay, that's fine. We're still getting our 36 races that we should have. My thought that I just thought of is, if you remember during COVID, before we went back to the track, we had an iRacing thing going. Maybe to just throw something in the middle of a week for some fun for the fans to watch is maybe have an iRacing race with all the drivers throughout all three series.
Well, if you remember though, they tried that in 2021 when we went back to the regular schedule, and it bombed. Nobody watched. Nobody cared. They did it like twice. They had scheduled to do it like 6 times that year. They did it twice, and nobody watched.
Fair enough.
So that didn't work out the way they hoped it would work out.
If it's already been tried and tested, then never mind.
Yeah, it failed miserably.
I didn't even know it happened, to be honest with you. But yeah.
That's how bad it failed.
Yeah. Apparently. Yeah, that's it for that. Moving on. This is more for us diecast collectors. Lionel confirmed it's being sold. Thoughts on that one?
Okay. In my initial reaction to this, I think it's awesome. Okay, because when you look at the names, the diecast names that are now under the same company, you've got Racing Champions, Johnny Lightning, AMT, Auto World, American Classic, and there's other names that I can't off the top of my head right now remember. When you look at the diecast names that are under this company, that started out as independent companies that are now under this same company. You look at what the diecast, the 164s that Johnny Lightning still puts out. You look at what Auto World puts out. American Classic, they had some of the best 1/18 scale NASCAR cars in history back in the 90s, right? Racing Champions was in on the ground floor of the 164 scale diecast collectibles in the NASCAR market, right? AMT with the 124 scale models that they do and used to do for NASCAR, and the collectors in the cases, the 124 display cases that AMT still does. You look at Auto World and some of the amazing diecasts that they've put out. It's just, to me, this is a win for diecast fans. I believe we're going to get improved quality. I believe we're going to get improved availability.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're going to get improved MOQs, minimum order qualities, because they can order a 164 diecast and put it under the Racing Champions brand, or they could put it under the Auto World brand. They could put it under any of their brands. They could put it under multiple brands and because Racing Champions, when they started, they made everybody. They made every driver, every team. It didn't matter if it was in the Busch Series at the time, the Cup Series. When the Truck Series came along in 1995, Racing Champions had every team that could be made. They had it, with the exception of um, DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, because Dale owned part of Action Performance,
Mm-hmm.
which would in turn become what Lionel is today. Um, but Dale Earnhardt started that, and they're the ones that really started the 124 scale um, quality diecast that we had back in the 90s and early 2000s. So if they put into it what they have put into their current brands, I'm excited. I think it's going to take Lionel back to what action racing performance used to be.
Oh, absolutely. Which would be an improvement because we've seen how comparing those 2000s diecast compared to today's diecast, they downgraded some. Lionel downgraded with what used to be cool. So could be a great big step for the diecast world, diecast collectors. Might get some more, you know, realism to it. Um, so it is exciting. I would agree. So can't wait to see what they cook up once all that is finished off. The other big news, it's not necessarily NASCAR related news, but it is racing news. That is probably a future NASCAR racer, driver, excuse me, as I should say. Keelan Harvick signs with Toyota for their Toyota Racing Development Program. First off, I'm just going to say, Ford and Chevy, you just fumbled big time. And also, I'm shocked that Chevy didn't already have them scooped up. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, here's the thing. Toyota has the money to put the kid where he needs to be. They have the programs in place to put the kid where he needs to be. Um, I'm like you. I'm disappointed Chevy didn't scoop him up. This would have been a great time for Dodge to really make a huge step in their developmental program.
Oh, yeah.
Um, you know, uh, Ford. If you look at the Ford feeder system, they really don't have one. They have like two Xfinity teams,
Mm-hmm.
um, one truck team. Um, the one I don't even think they have an ARCA team. If they do, it's not a Ford supported team. So, um, but the good news, and Bob Pockrass mentioned this on X, is that minor contracts are up when the minor turns 18 years old. There's no, you cannot enforce in North Carolina a contract after 18. So if you know Keelan probably signed up until he turns 18, and by the time he turns 18, he is going to be uh, every manufacturer is going to be throwing major money at him.
Mm-hmm.
He comes with sponsors.
Right.
He comes with I mean, his dad, Kevin and Delana, his parents did it the right way. I mean, they started him out when he was young in the go-karts, and they have all the way up through. They've had him racing. He's raced all over the world in go-karts. Um, he's racing in the modifieds, or not the yeah, the late models now. Um, so he's fortunate that he has parents that have the money to do it. Um, but at the same time, he's also has the talent
Nope.
to do it. He is the. I know everybody's talking about Braxton Bush and all that, but Keelan Harvick is the next generation superstar out there. So when he turns 18, he is going to be able to go anywhere he wants. He's going to be able to sign with any team he wants, whether they have a ride or not. Um, when he turns 18, I could see Hendrick Motorsports picking him up, putting him in a Junior Motorsports Xfinity car right off the bat. I mean, the day he turns 18, full time ride.
Yep.
Um, he's very fortunate as well. He has a December birthday. So when Daytona rolls around in February, guess what? He's 18 years old. He can run the full season.
Nope.
So, yeah, I mean, this will allow Keelan to show his talent like never before.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I would agree. Toyota probably has the money and equipment for this talent. But big win for Toyota for sure. Um,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Toyota has the system to put him through. They've got late models, they've got trucks,
mm-hmm.
championship trucks. They've got Xfinity cars. Now at the cup level, they got nothing. I mean, because you look at the rides that they've got and the drivers that they've got in their pipeline already that are cup ready.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Heim, for example. Of course, he'll have a full time ride next year.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the Caden Honeycutts, the Taylor Grays, the Taylor Grays, the Tanner Grays. Who's the dude? The kid that's starting in the one truck this year.
Brent Cruz.
Brent Cruz. You've got him coming up. Ready. Harrison Burton is back in the Toyota pipeline. So you just look at what Toyota has in the pipeline before Keelan. Even when Keelan gets the cup, there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities for him. So, because if you look at JGR outside of Denny Hamlin, they've got a very young team. 2311 has a very young team. So there's not going to be a whole lot of doors open.
Right.
So that leaves that potential for a Chevy or a Ford team to come in and even Dodge. Because Dodge will be in the Cup Series by the time Keelan, and probably the O'Reilly Series by the time Keelan turns 18. So, Dodge could, and let's be honest with you, they'd be fools not to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree. So yeah, that's all the news I have seen throughout all the social medias. I don't know if you have anything else news-wise.
No, not really. I mean, there's a lot of discussions going on, but we'll just have to wait and see if anything comes out of it. It's not really, it's more of fan and driver initiated conversations.
Yeah.
Or former driver initiated conversations. We'll have to see if they materialize or anything like that. But man, we got some racing to talk about for sure.
We sure do. I guess we haven't, this is our first show since preseason, so we've had the Clash, the duels, Daytona and Atlanta. Sue me if you think it should be called EchoPark. So the Clash was interesting. There for a while, we didn't even know if it was going to happen, thanks to Winter Wonderland. However, it did, but there were no heat races due to that, which, I guess. I don't know.
I was very, very disappointed that they weren't able to get and it was all TV. I'm very disappointed that they were not able to TV window um, to run the heat races. That was disappointing to me.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it was definitely disappointing. But it was pretty solid for Bowman Gray. I think it was better than it was last year, in my opinion, racing wise. Even with the track being technically partially wet because of all the snow.
I think that helped. To be honest with you,
honestly,
when it started. Now, I was a little concerned that they were, because when the precipitation started at the track, it was a mix of rain and sleet. I was a little concerned about that, but once they actually got to going and got to racing, I mean, I thought it was an excellent race. I'll tell you, very impressed by SVG. Getting there on an oval in the tires, and leading laps and beating and banging. I mean, it was with the leather and the rank tires. It really reminded me of Bristol back in the day, where it was beating and banging, and I did kind of turn into a fast. But that's what Bristol back in the day used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. As you said, SVG, impressive. Who would have thought, the guy that pretty much does road course as a, I forgot what word I was going to say, but the guy who basically dominates on the road courses would have been up front, taking nothing from nobody on a short track, which just shows that he's improved with these Cup cars, and I know he will continue to improve as he continues to go. So, yeah, but the clash was good, I will say. It was interesting there at the halfway point when it was starting to rain. They put on wet tires and then drove around for 20 minutes and then went and put slicks back on. That part was weird. But
and then they made them put the rain tires back on.
Yeah, and it still went back to rain tires. Yeah.
So what did you think about the gas, the fuel stop that they let them do when the cars started running out of fuel? Some of the teams pitted, and then NASCAR's like, okay, we're just going to let everybody put fuel in. Did you think that was a fair strategy, or do you think that those that didn't put fuel in at the halfway break and were forced to pit or ran out of fuel, do you think they should have just been like, well, it was your choice not to fuel, you ran out, so
I would have said...
How'd you feel about that decision?
I mean, I don't think it was exactly... I mean, it's fair in some cases, but at the same time, it's not fair. As a team, driver, crew chief, and your pit crew, you should have put gas in during that halfway break. It doesn't matter if you thought you had enough fuel to get to the end or not. You should always put fuel in the car. That is my opinion. I think not putting fuel in the car was a dumb idea, and we saw what happened for those that didn't. So I don't think it was necessarily fair to those that did already put fuel in. But I mean, I guess it was a bit of a redemption call for those that didn't put fuel in. But like I said, I think you should have just been out of luck if you didn't have enough fuel to get to the end because you didn't put fuel in halfway. So that's just me, though.
And you know, you kind of say that as unbiased because your driver was one of the ones that ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
My driver was one of the ones that had to pit fuel. Um, so, you know, we both would have been pretty much out of luck, you
Yeah.
know, had they went with, you know, just how things played out. So, you know, us saying that it's not fair just shows that we are trying to give you an
Exactly. Yeah.
um, unbiased thoughts on these races. So, but you know, the good news for it all is one of your favorites ended up pulling off and getting his first official win in the Cup Series. 9 points win, but it's a win.
Hey, a win is a win. Yes, Ryan Preece, thank you for finally going to victory lane. That was awesome to see. I've been, I've been watching Ryan since he, back when he was racing modifieds. Been a fan of his ever since. So to see him, I know he struggled, with cup rides at first due to sponsorship and the charter agreement stuff at the beginning. But you see RFK took a chance on him, and so did sponsors. Kroger completely no charter. They just completely sponsored the car for the whole season for him to run. So that was a big risk, but in my opinion, it was a big risk, big reward. Ryan has now found victory lane. Yes, it was a non-points race, and it was the shortest track ever, which really gives me no surprise. Being modified driver, he was used to those super short tracks. So once you figure out the cup car and, combined with that short track knowledge, you can pull off some good stuff. So it was awesome to see. You saw the emotions during the post-race interview, which I can understand. It was amazing. My biggest thing was I was like, great, he won. They're not going to offer the diecast because Coca-Cola's on it. Well, somehow they're offering the diecast, so I don't know if Coca-Cola's on it or not, but
it looks like with what the pictures I've seen that they had the Coca-Cola part blocked out. So
hey,
we'll just have to wait and see.
Somebody said just take Coca-Cola off and replace it with Priest. I was like, sounds like NASCAR heat vibes, but I'm good with it.
Right? I mean, that's what they used to do with the alcohol and tobacco sponsorships back in the 90s for the little kids for the 164s. I mean, we didn't have Budweiser. We had Ricky Craven, Wally Nollenbeck. We didn't have Coors Light. They had the milling on the Bill Elliott. They didn't have Coors Light. We had Rusty, or it was actually the Pontiac Excitement number 2 Penske Racing Pontiac for Rusty Wallace. So we've had, or just had blank cars that just had the numbers on them. Didn't have any names or anything on them, but we knew. I mean, because we're cutting Skull out of the magazine and we're taping it to our diecast and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they're offering, though. Ryan deserves to have that diecast made. But I tell you what this does for me, for Ryan, this gets me excited for a Martinsville, a North Wilkesboro, a Bristol, Richmond even. I know Richmond is a little bit, it's a longer track, but a Dover type of racetrack for Ryan to go out and to do what he does. Maybe even a St. Louis Gateway, whatever they call it these days. I don't even know. Worldwide Technology Raceway or something like that. I just call it Gateway. Gateway.
None of the drivers even call it that. They say St. Louis or Gateway still. So
So, I mean, it gets me excited for Ryan on the short tracks this year because we see what RFK is putting underneath him, and we see him able to go out and actually show and demonstrate his talent. So this just makes me excited for 2026 for Ryan Preece.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me as well. It's going to be awesome to see. Hopefully, him in a good points position and also in victory lane a few times. As long as he doesn't break my wallet, along with my other favorite drivers, we'll be okay.
Right.
So,
So yeah, I mean, and the only thing we don't need to cover any other people in the class because the only thing that matters in the class is first place.
yep.
So we move to the Daytona. Oh man. Um
This was a roller coaster race.
yeah, the duels were I don't even have a thing for the duels. Uh the duels were interesting. Um Personally, I still think they're too long. I think they need to go back to the 125 miles where they didn't have to have a pit stop. I
Mm-hmm.
think the pit stop screws that race up. Um, I don't think that race it's necessary to have a pit stop in the duels. Um, especially because if you watch, they race the duels just like they do the 500, and it's fuel saving.
Yep.
Up until they reach that pit stop and then they actually race. Um, if they would shorten the race back to where they wouldn't have to have a pit stop, they wouldn't have to have a pit stop. Because the first duel was it was going pretty good until the pit stop, and then, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the second duel was actually pretty much the same thing. It was okay until the pit stop, and then after the pit stop, it was they tore up a lot of race cars after the pit stop in
Yeah.
both races
Which is what you don't want to do
unnecessarily.
during the duels.
Yeah, unnecessarily. The big takeaway from the duels was for me was Anthony Alfredo raced his way in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, let's talk about the first race before we get to that. In the first race, Corey LaJoie is in the Daytona 500 coming off of turn 4.
Yeah.
And then he's not. Got caught up in a wreck that I can't say was of his own making. He was kind of a victim of circumstance, but it was kind of his own making as well because he put himself in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and ends up wrecking. And that allowed Casey Mears to make the race. Fortunately, just as I predicted before the race, Corey Heim and Justin Allgaier timed their way in qualifying.
Yep.
Um, and this is, I know I mentioned Daytona back when we talked about, the midweek races. Daytona needs to be the only race, but Daytona needs to be a race that has a 42 to 43 car field.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a prize money thing and blah, blah, blah. But if they announce now that the 2027 Daytona 500 is going to be a field of 43 cars, because the thing is, if Dodge comes in and NASCAR takes some of those charters that they've set aside for a new manufacturer, and let's just say they give Dodge 2 and they expands the field to 38, right? Because Dodge already has 2 with Colleague Racing. So let's just say that Dodge is able to get another 2 charters and they expand the field to 38. They're not going to come into Daytona with only two open cars, going to be able to make the field. They're going to have to expand the field to 42 at least, right? So why not just come out and say next year, 2027, Daytona 500, 43 cars. Come down, make your shot. There's going to be at least 5 open positions, to make the Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
And if Dodge doesn't get those 2, there'll be 7 open opportunities. You're still going to have 44, 45, 46, 47, right? So you're still going to have people going home. But it's just, yeah, and keep the qualifying the way it is. 2 cars. Only 2 cars are able to qualify in on time.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 5 open spots, that means that 3 cars are going to have to race their way into the field.
Right.
And I think, and then drop it down to 125 miles so that we're not having to pit, and let them go out there, let them race, let them do what they do. And I mean, I think to me that would make the duels a lot more exciting and a lot more interesting.
I would agree. Yeah.
And you're not going to have wrecks like what happened to Corey LaJoie, because they're not going to be racing. Yes, they're racing for their lives. They're not, I mean, if he's the second car, he's still going to get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to keep that from happening. But then in the second duel, you had Anthony Alfredo qualify his way in, and then in inspection get disqualified.
Yep.
Which put BJ McLeod in the 500, which, in my opinion, because of what happened to him on lap 6 in the Daytona 500, completely changed the Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get to the 500. So you had Joey win a duel. You had Chase win a duel. Chase Elliott. I guess I need to be more specific.
Yeah,
there's like 40 Chases racing in the Cup Series now. But you had Joey Logano win one duel. You had Chase Elliott win the second duel. And the thing about the duels is they're important because top 10 in the duels pays points.
Mm-hmm.
And with the new championship system, every point is important.
Yep. Every point matters.
So that covers the duels. What about that truck race, man?
I actually enjoyed it. Normally the truck races are not enjoyable when they're at super speedways, but I actually enjoyed Daytona. Was really, really bummed that Cletus was out very early. Hate to see that. Hope he makes a return in the Truck Series. But it was also awesome to see him in it with Nice Motorsports in the number 4 truck. I know people were hating on him when he went and did his test at Rockingham to be cleared to race the truck. But I mean, he just made a rookie mistake coming out of turn 4. There is a little tiny like bump there. You don't really know it's there until you end up flying like Cletus did. So rookie mistake, it's okay. But yeah, sucks for him. But yeah, it was pretty good race in my opinion.
You saw the return of Dodge, or Ram. That was really cool.
Yep. Dodge Ram did make a comeback.
Saw the return of Tony Stewart. And Tony was getting after it until he got caught up in somebody else's mess.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you what I really enjoyed about this race. not only was it a great race, it was a fairly clean race. I mean, they had their incidences. It wasn't the wreck fest that we've come to know truck racing as. Um, it was really, really good. Um, I really, had a lot of star power. I mean, you had a lot of Cup drivers. You had Travis Pastrana. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Cleveland McFarland. Um, which Tony Stewart returning, Ram returning, which always puts eyes on the sport. Ratings were great for this race. The crowd, actually, it looked like they had a pretty decent crowd
Mm-hmm.
in the stands on TV
Yep.
for this race. Of course, it is Daytona.
Yeah.
Daytona is going to bring in more than your um, average Truck Series race. But all in all, I will be honest with you, I was very impressed with how well this Trek Quest was. I was very disappointed with how well the Fox booth did, especially their play-by-play commentator, because Chandler Smith wins the race.
Yeah, I know, right? So much enthusiasm.
I mean, um, but that's another shocker. Uh, I coming down to those last couple laps, I did not see Chandler Smith winning this race.
Nope. Not at all. That was one of those it ain't over till it's over kind of finishes. Because he literally snuck in on the inside and won it coming through the trial because I forgot who it was, went to throw a block on the high line, on the middle and high line, and then here comes Chandler Smith just bulldozing his way through the inside. And it's like, oh, hello. So,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the better races that I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely. So,
But I know last year we talked quite a bit about how much better the truck races were getting.
yep.
So this is just kind of a continuation of that. But I think it was the Talladega race last year that was an absolute total wreck fest
Yeah, that was chaos.
in the playoffs.
That
So
was,
coming back to Daytona, it was a pretty decent race.
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll just note stage 1, Carson Hocevar won. Stage 2 was Chandler Smith, and of course, Chandler Smith won the race overall. Smith won. Gio Ruggiero, we know he's pretty good at these driving tracks, finished second. As you said, some Cup drivers in here. John Hunter Nemechek finished 5th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 6th. For Rams' first truck race for the return, Brendan Queen finished 7th. So a solid look right off the bat for Ram. Sadly, none of the others did very well. You did mention Tony Stewart got caught up in somebody else's myth. So other than that, no other mentions, I don't think.
Yeah, you got Christian Eckes returning to the Truck Series after a year in the O'Reilly Series, finishing 3rd. That's pretty good finish there. But yeah, man, I didn't realize this. I knew he was young, but I did not realize that Dino Rivera is really 19 years old.
Yeah, he is young.
He won the Talladega last year. I thought he was like 21, 22 years old. So, yeah, he's some talent that Toyota kind of let sneak up on us.
Yeah. And really, of course, because of last season with Corey Heim pretty much dominating the whole truck season. We didn't hear from him except for his race win, which I believe I think it was Talladega, wasn't it? He won.
Yep.
That was the only time we really heard from him last season. But he's definitely got talent because he's always in the right spot at the right time. But at the same time, he does get caught up in other people's mess. So it's one of those you got to learn. You got to learn to figure out the best positioning so you can have the best finishes.
Yep, for sure. So then we might as well just call it what it is. The O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series race. Might as well just call it the Austin Hill Invitational.
I was gonna say the RCR race.
3 straight years that Austin Hill has won the season opener at Daytona.
Surprise?
Unheard of.
Well, unheard of for sure.
Absolutely unheard of. You know, and you love to hate him. He's one of those guys that you know, he doesn't necessarily have a fan-friendly personality, but you cannot deny his talent on these tracks.
Nope.
Drafting tracks, I think, is the term that they're using these days, because it doesn't seem to matter what they do. They just can't seem to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
When he's up front at these races. I mean, Junior Motorsports tried to team up on him, and they just couldn't do it. But again, another great race. CW set another record number with viewership. Great booth, great pit reporting, great camera work on CW on their network, and I'll admit it, I was a Adam Alexander critic when he was with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, when I look at the work that he does with the CW, and even what he did with Amazon and TNT with the Cup races last year, I think somewhere Fox had him handcuffed. I don't know if they didn't want him to outshine other people that they had in the booth or whatever, because he was not as enthusiastic. He was not as exciting to listen to when he was with Fox as he is now. The way he calls these races, the way he calls the finish of these races is just absolutely unbelievable and exciting to watch. It makes me as a fan get excited about the finish of these races when we get down to those last few laps.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Which makes you wonder if Fox maybe is the reason why we have such boring booth commentary. Of course, Jimmy Little shouldn't be in the booth, but other than that, yeah. But yeah, as I said, it was the RCR show. Austin Hill basically sweeping the race, both stages and the race, of course. Justin Allgaier second, Ryan Siege third. Good finish to start off the season for him. Jordan Anderson with the 32 and fourth. Yes.
Ryan Sieg will get a win this year. I'm just going to call it. He will win this year.
Oh, he's in a Chevy now, too. Siege Racing switched to Chevy. I forgot that happened. But yes, I agree with that. Ryan Siege will get a win this year, for sure. Anyways, yeah, Jordan Anderson with fourth place finish. His interview, he was super happy about that. Super proud. Sammy Smith fifth, Orion Ellis sixth, Carson Quapple seventh. Still don't understand how he's not full time. Blaine Perkins 8th. Jesse Love ended up 9th. And then Raja Karuth, top 10 to start off his first no-apps race of the season. So,
yeah. Well, now Carson is full-time. Dale Jr. said that he will be full-time. He just may not be in the Junior Motorsports car, but it will be a Junior Motorsports car. Does that make sense?
yes. To me, maybe not.
Kind of like the races that Raja does in the 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing. That is going to be a Junior Motorsports prepared car.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just Jordan's going to be the one taking it to the track. Jordan's crew is going to be the one working on it. Stuff like that. So that's going to be Junior Motorsports equipment.
That makes sense. So, yeah.
But yeah. Another fun race to watch for the weekend. And they get after it. I mean, those last few laps of that race, I was obviously as a Jordan Anderson and Ryan Sieg fan, that's who I was really pulling for to pull off. I wouldn't have called that an upset at all. And when Ryan does get his win this year, it's not going to be an upset. But man, that was again the best race of the weekend. I don't know how many times and how many years we've been saying it's the best race of the weekend. Absolutely the best race of the weekend. They tried everything they could do to beat Austin Hill, and everything that they tried failed miserably.
Yeah. Yeah. So, suppose now we can move on to the biggest race of, well...
And biggest wreck fest.
Yeah. And heartbreak. For both of us, really. But me especially. Ow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you said, it was a wreck fest. The biggest, besides that, the other big thing I have a problem with, and a lot of drivers are starting to speak out against it as well, is this fuel-saving baloney. Toyota took up all 3 rows in the middle of the race. Fuel save the whole time. The whole time they were in front of those all 3 rows. And we heard drivers on the radio saying, this is stupid. Can we just go? Brad Keselowski being one of them.
Yeah, I mean, 160 miles an hour on a track where the average speed for a lap drafting is like 195. They're running 160 miles an hour. And to the casual fan, that is awesome. That looks spectacular. To the hardcore fan, to the drivers, you mentioned the drivers, it's trash racing. It's not. I don't know how many drivers came out and said this is not real racing.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
The problem is nobody has a solution.
Yeah, that is a good point. But yeah, some good takeaways. Justin Allgaier led some laps this time. Sadly,
made a mistake. But the thing about the mistake that he made is when they interviewed him, manned up, he's like, yeah, I messed up.
Yep.
I should have waited. I shouldn't have moved up. Or should have moved up faster. One of the two. Didn't throw the blame on anybody. Didn't throw the blame on Denny. He's just like, I messed up. I made the mistake. I take responsibility. Um, but man, it was kind of cool to see that 40 car up there leading, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It was great to see. Awesome to see. Not, I wouldn't say it is
Especially when my driver was.
Yeah.
Especially when my driver was collected in every accident of the day.
Literally.
Starting on lap 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as you said, it was a wreck fest.
If he'd have been in the second duel, he'd have been in every accident of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so this was until, well, once we got past the Toyota fuel saving line, we've had some good racing. Zane Smith winning stage 1, Bubba Wallace stage 2. And quite some heart-pounding, nerve-wracking, oh my goodness moments coming down to the white flag and coming down to the checkered flag. First off, dadgummit Carson, you were looking good with Michael McDowell, your teammate, right behind you. When I saw him take that white flag in the lead, I was like, there's no way this kid's about to pull this off. Sadly,
right?
I ended up...
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Sadly, I ended up biting my own tongue with that as he goes into the wall, pretty much turn 1 from a not so good push. So, of course, that kind of scrambles the field up. We coming down to backstretch. I forget who's technically leading at that point.
It was Chase. I mean, that when Carson wrecked out, or when Carson hit the wall, that put Chase in the lead.
I put Chase in the lead, Zane Smith behind him. Sadly, your driver still going for that three-peat was in contention until he pretty much lost all the momentum he had due to Carson hitting the wall. So we come down, we're coming around turn 4, and Chase trying to hold those coming up to him. Reddick and Stenhouse being a couple of them. And then, Reddick got past him before anything happened. But Riley Hurst, please go away.
Right? Yeah. I think when you look at it, I think that the momentum that Brad Kozlowski had coming up on the outside had Riley not decided to wreck the field at that moment. Or what was left of the field anyway. I think Brad had a legitimate shot of getting there.
Yeah.
If Riley would have gotten behind the 9 and pushed the 9, we could have had a 3-way finish. I mean, with Brad and Chase and Tyler, they all 3 would have had a legitimate shot. Riley's just so worried about keeping his job with Toyota, which I'm sorry, dude. Heim has already claimed that ride for next year.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and call it now. You're going back to the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series. Probably the Truck Series. Well, hopefully you're just out of NASCAR altogether. But he was not going to push the Chevrolet past his teammate. This brings me to another problem that I have with Daytona. In Talladega and Atlanta, is back in the day, it didn't matter what manufacturer you worked for, your job was to get the best possible finish for your team, and it didn't matter if you had to push a Chevrolet past first place for you to get second place. That's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR, I don't know how they would police it. But this manufacturer stuff has got to stop. You can't have a Toyota wrecking field because he doesn't want to push a Chevrolet past another Toyota.
Right.
You just, I don't know how they would police it, but you just can't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. But yeah. So, anyways, a lot of cars end up sideways
I
or
thought we had it
backwards.
coming off of 4, though.
So did I. I was like,
I thought we had it.
I was watching the race, and as soon as I saw that, I literally sat up. I was like, oh, this is it. It's like, it may not be Byron's three-peat, but it's a Hendrick three-peat, and the guy getting the third one is my guy this time. So,
Oh, I was out of my seat. I was pumping my fist in the air, like, go, 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 go. And then I'm like, I went from go, go, go to no, 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 no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much how I was. But yeah, Tyler Reddick comes in through the inside line, kind of like Chandler Smith did with the truck race on Friday, and takes it, giving 23-11 and Michael Jordan their first Daytona 500 win. And I say first because I could see them winning a few more. Maybe not next year or so, but definitely down the line, for sure. So
They're going to win championships.
yeah, I would agree.
Maybe even this year.
Also true. So
Yeah, and after all that Tyler and 2311 went through last year, 2311 with the lawsuit, Tyler with his youngest son and the health problems that he had. I'll be honest with you, I am not the biggest Tyler Reddick fan. But to see that win and the emotions after that win, keep me at it for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
So, and they now have 2311 now has back. Well, I can't say back to back because you had Darlington, the Southern 500 in there. They have won 2 of the last 3 Crown Jewel races.
Yep.
With 2 different drivers, but the same sponsor.
Yep. Says a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, you got to be pumped for the team, especially after, as you said, what they had gone through, what Reddick had gone through personally. I don't know, you texted me mentioning this, but the whole weekend of Daytona was just, ha ha, you suck, NASCAR, from all the teams involved in the lawsuit. Because Front Row won the truck race, RCR won the O'Reilly's race, and then 2311 won the Cup race, of course. So all 3 teams that were involved in the lawsuit came out with a bang right off the bat. So NASCAR looks like a bunch of clowns still, but their red nose is a little bit bigger, even bigger now. So.
Yeah, for sure. Just, but I'm going to tell you something. What a weekend! The Daytona 500 is always the biggest race of the year, right? But what a weekend for NASCAR after all that transpired in the off season with the lawsuit, after them coming out with the new championship format, which it's not what we asked for, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yep.
Right. With their new marketing campaign, and just there's a lot of positives going on for NASCAR right now. The ratings that came out after this weekend were all up across the board. They were up. The O'Reilly Auto Parts series is getting viewers like they haven't gotten in 30 years. Right. The truck series is getting viewers like they haven't gotten in 20 some odd years. Cup Series is trending in the right direction. And it was awesome to see Tyler Reddick get out of the car and talk about, we just won the Daytona Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
And there was not a single mention of, now we're locked in the playoffs.
Yep. Which is awesome. It's what we want. We want them to celebrate the win, not being locked in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. So, we're already off to a good start for the season. With, yes, we had some wreck fests going on during the race, but we had a team come out from a rough offseason, prove they're still very competitive, wins the Daytona 500, and then talks about that they just won the Daytona 500. So we're getting there. We're taking some small steps, but we're taking steps forward.
Big deal.
Yeah. So, but it was awesome to see. Me as a Michael Jordan fan, was awesome to see him win as an owner. Denny Hamlin, now a driver and owner Daytona 500 champion. So I'm sure that's something special, something you don't see often. So all in all, good. As you said, pretty good racing all throughout the weekend. Of course, yes, it's Daytona.
Definitely not these days.
So yeah. Before we jump to Atlanta, I want to mention two things. Two of our retired drivers, of course, one of them's already completely denied it happening. But one of them being one of your old favorites, Kevin Harvick, considering a comeback to NASCAR after watching Daytona.
Yeah, in a truck.
Yeah, well, hey, it would still be cool. I mean, Tony Stewart just did it, so why not?
Yeah, for sure. And Tony Stewart retired a lot longer. I mean, Kevin Harvick hasn't been retired that long, so
yeah.
I mean, it's been 10 years for Tony, so I'd love to see it. And he doesn't. I don't think he has any kind of manufacturer. I know Keelan has a Toyota thing now, but I'm not sure Kevin signed anything. I could be wrong, but I mean, why not put him in that 25 truck?
Yeah.
At a place where he's good. I mean, take him to Martinsville.
Yeah.
I mean, golly, what he's done at Martinsville in a truck, or someplace like that. That would be great to see. The other one, I was disappointed to hear that he's not going to do it.
Oh, so Dell Jr. During his Bless Your Heart podcast with his wife Amy, Amy actually suggested it, and then of course Jr. explained that Amy wasn't the reason he had actually got out of the car, because apparently, of course, I could see this, but apparently a lot of fans thought she was the reason of that. So he made that clear, which is good. But he basically said, that I'm never getting in a Cup car again. Hate that he's denied it.
I'll be honest with you though. If the right situation came along, and I'm not Dale Jr., I'm not Dale Jr.'s mind, but let's just say, for instance, Junior Motorsports now owns the DEI stylized number 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like it could very well line up to where RCR returns to the number 31 next year.
Mm-hmm.
Which allows that 8. But I could also see Richard Childress saying, I will keep the 8. We will allow Junior Motorsports to run that car as an open car in the Daytona 500 with their number. And I could even see Budweiser saying, you know what? We'll put our logo on the hood.
Yep.
And we can run a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Budweiser car with Dale Earnhardt Jr. driving the number 8 in the Daytona 500. If those stars aligned, would Junior still know? I don't know. It would be a tough one.
It would be a tough one. I could see him.
And that would still allow Junior Motorsports also to still run the 40 car with just an Ungodly Traveler whiskey.
Yep, absolutely. So,
because the A car would come out of the RCR stable.
so yeah, I mean,
And you know, I ran across a clip from Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast last year where he interviewed Dale Jr. and they talked about the charter situation. And Dale's like, I can't afford it with what they're going up to now. Do you realistically see, especially now that it came out with the lawsuit, with part of RCR, Childress being willing to sell part of his ownership in RCR, could you honestly see maybe Dale Jr. buying into RCR?
absolutely, I do. I don't think he would jump on it as soon as it kind of became an opportunity. He might be, hesitant toward it, because he'd probably be like, let, the grandkids, the Dillon boys have their part in it, instead of him. But if the right people say, no, we'd rather have you, or, we would like to have you step in too, I could 100% see him stepping into that. RCR is well known for, the number 3 for Earnhardt first starting out. So that's the whole thing that pretty much started the Intimidator, and that career path. So I could see it happening. So I wouldn't count it out if it being a possibility. I wouldn't count it out at all. Of course, a lot of us fans would go.
I'd love to see it. I mean,
I was about to say a lot of us fans would go bonkers if it happened, like totally happy bonkers.
Because you would have the Dale Earnhardt number 3 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. number 8 on the same team.
Yep. And I would love to see that.
I mean, better drivers are.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I don't know, maybe just fantasy thinking. You get Braxton Bush and Keelan Harvick in those cars here in about 5 or 6 years.
That would be crazy. But I think it would work. It would definitely. I would say they'd struggle at first because they're living up to quite a legacy for both numbers. But once they get their feet wet and get comfortable, they'll be living up to that legacy, if not surpassing it. So that would be very awesome, honestly, to see.
Yep. I mean, and I know Childress has said he'd never run the 3 for anybody besides family, but I mean, let's look at the relationship that he had with Kevin Harvick for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
You almost got to consider the Harvick's family. They kind of went out. They kind of separated a little rough, but I mean, they've since come back together. I mean, so much so that in Harvick's retirement year, we saw him run the 29.
Yep.
RCR font.
Yep.
So, yeah, that would be. I mean, I know we're talking fantasy here, but that would be great.
Absolutely. I agree. I would love to see it. So yeah. Anyways, we got one more race to talk about.
Hotlanta.
No, it's EchoPark Speedway. It's Atlanta.
Yeah, we ain't racing no electric vehicles here.
Exactly. Yeah.
This American muscle.
So, we had a truck race. That was good, but shortened, which sucked. Yeah, I still don't understand that one. I know I texted you. I was like, wait, why are they shortening it? Because I was a little behind. I was like, why are they shortening the truck race? or why do they keep talking about it happening? One of the two. Like, they wanted to make sure the O'Reilly starts on time. I'm like, but the track has lights. Why does it matter when they start? I don't know. I know the rain delay and weather and all that from the morning kind of.
It was a, yeah. It was purely a CW network.
Yeah.
They only had a certain window for that race. They had to start it in order to get it in that window. They had to start it by a certain time. So,
I mean, understandable.
NASCAR had options. No stage break, no stage cautions. They could have cut out some of the pre-race stuff. Started, 10, 15 minutes earlier, but they did what they did. Those final few laps were pretty exciting to watch, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Corey Himes returned to the trucks, gets stage 1. Stuart Friesen taking stage 2. And good old Kyle Busch takes it for the 3rd time in a row and wins Atlanta, winning the...
Yeah, he's the Austin Hill of the truck race.
Yeah, pretty much.
At Atlanta.
And then, of course, teammate Carson Hocevar right behind him, pushing him to that win. That was interesting. The interviews from both of them after the race was funny, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was a good finish. I liked it. It's kind of weird seeing Busch and Hocevar work together and work well together on top of that.
Better get used to it.
Yeah. I was about to say, which makes you think, some of the tweets I've seen you post makes you think it might be a future possibility. You can explain that now, or you can wait to explain it later. Yeah, you can just leave it at that. So
I'm just gonna say, until it's officially announced, I'm just gonna say you better get used to it.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah.
The only thing I really want to say about the truck race is I'll elaborate more on this when I get to the Xfinity race. But I'll just go ahead and I will kind of word for word verbatim say, and Kyle Busch wins again at Atlanta for the 3rd time in a row. And then when we get to the O'Reilly series, we'll talk a little bit more about why that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anyways, yeah, Gio Ruggiero, finishing 3rd, so another top 5 for him. Ben Rhodes 4th, Corey Heim 5th, good finish for his first truck race return. Chandler Smith 6th, Jake Garcia 7th, John Hunter Nemechek 8th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 9th. Ram doing a little bit better this time. Justin Haley 10th, Ty Dillon 11th, Daniel Dye 13th there. Adam Andretti finishing 12th. So, and I know this is going
that was pretty cool.
Sidetracked us a little bit. We never really talked about it, but the Rams race for the seat. I don't know if you ever watched it. I kind of forgot about it and never went to watch it. But the winner, Minnie Tyrell, interesting name. Obviously, it looks like he's got some learning to do after the first 2 races. But any specific thoughts on him yet?
Not yet. I mean, this is drafting tracks. This is literally getting thrown into the deep end of the pool that's full of sharks. For these first races, have more of a handle on him and his ability once we get some short tracks, some intermediates, under our belt. He's got a huge test coming up at St. Pete this weekend on the road course. I don't know if he's ever driven a road course. It's going to take us a few more weeks of non-drafting racing to be able to kind of get a handle on where he really stands as a rookie.
That's a good point. So, all right. And continue on now to the O'Reilly's race. This was a good race.
Again, best race of the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Especially when your favorite driver's wheeling the crap out of the thing.
It took Ross Chastain going to the Xfinity car, or the O'Reilly's car, to show the O'Reilly's field how to beat Austin Hill when he's got the lead on the last lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
As Ross said, y'all have tried everything, but have you tried this? And then just punted him.
Yeah.
Which I will say, amazing save.
Yes, absolutely.
By Austin Hill. Amazing save by Austin Hill on that last lap.
Yeah.
Came back up in the middle of the pack and didn't wreck nothing. Didn't wreck him, didn't wreck anybody else.
Yep. Yeah, that was an insane save. Oh, excuse me, but he had an insane save, but the other driver that had quite a few saves, the rookie Raja Karuth, man, that poor guy had to wheel the whole thing half. He was drifting around half that race.
Yeah, he had that tire go down early in the race that really kind of put him back, and then he had a couple of very close calls.
Yep.
There was somebody on X, I can't remember if it was Jeff Gluck or Jordan Bianchi, but I believe it was one of those two that called that a Kyle Busch-esque save, that first save that he had for sure. From Talladega a few years ago when Kyle was basically the same way, he's dead sideways. Now, pretty rough. He came to finish well, but he had a pretty rough day. Caused a couple incidences. Ruffled a lot of feathers.
Yep.
Don't think he did it on purpose. I believe this is 100%. The fact that he is a rookie, very limited NASCAR starts under his belt, so don't want to chop him up too much for his mistakes, but he did ruffle quite a few feathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this race.
Yeah, he did. So. Yeah.
But
yes.
Those last couple laps were pretty doggone exciting, were they not?
Yes. Yes, they were.
And, I mentioned the call at the end of the truck race. Let's talk about the call at the end of this race. For the final 2 laps, Adam Alexander, Parker Kligerman, Jamie McMurray in perfect tune with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew when to speak and when not to speak, and they were all super pumped, super excited, yelling about what they were seeing on the track. I mean, Adam Alexander barely got his credit one to go in there because he was just so excited as to what he was seeing go on in these final 2 laps. And then the excitement didn't stop when they crossed the start-finish line. It continued really up until the end of the broadcast. I mean,
Yep.
from all three of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing call. If for some reason you stepped away, maybe you stepped to the refrigerator to get a drink or get a snack or whatever, that call brought you immediately back to the TV. Coming down with those final two laps, especially that final lap. Um, and that is what is going to bring fans back into the sport. It's going to be what makes the casual fan continue to watch, because if the commentators are excited about what they're seeing on track, the fan is going to be excited about what they're seeing on their TV.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, the excitement was there, for sure. Coming out of the final few laps, I mean, it was almost perfect, with the announcements, and the play-by-play and just everything going on from the booth, watching the track. I mean, you couldn't not be excited with how excited they were. So we need more of that. Sadly, Fox doesn't let us have that. But we definitely need more of that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We knew who was going to win the race at lap one, right? We did. It was going to be Austin Hill. Unless something stupid happened, it was going to be Austin Hill, right? This race, you didn't know who was going to win until they came out of turn 4.
Yep. So makes it exciting. So.
And what a winner! What a winner we got. After a record-setting 15 second place finishes, after a switch from one manufacturer to another, after being with 3 different teams in the past 4 years in this series, old Sheldon got him one.
Yes, he did. Yes. And it's good. It was great to see. As we already said, the excitement from the booth was there. A lot of drivers went to congratulate him. Austin Hill being one of them. Went to, it made it nice to see a winner who hadn't seen victory lane in such a long time finally get back in there. So, especially after such a crazy finish, with everything going on there in the final few turns. So.
Again, best race of the weekend, though.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. So stage 1 won by Jesse Love. Stage 2, Raja Caruth got his first stage win of the O'Reillys. And then, of course, Sheldon Creed comes in after Chastain punts Austin Hill. And Sheldon Creed takes the victory. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. This is my longest day of the week. I've been going since 6 o'clock this morning, and we are now after midnight. So, in my time. But yeah, you had Sheldon win. Parker Rasmussen in that Viking Motorsports car. That's questionable team switch. But able to, in a second, Nick Sanchez finished third in a team that was supposed to have been sold in the offseason. Corey Day, Jesse Love, Ross Stain, Sam Mayer, Roger Caruth, Tanner Gray.
Oh. Connection issues. I apologize, people. I don't think it's on my end, though.
I'm good here.
Oh. Did you just stop talking, or did it cut out?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I stopped.
Oh, you stopped after Taylor Gray. I was waiting on Brandon Jones for at least the top 10, but okay. There are some connection issues, though, so I do apologize to y'all listening, watching. It's kind of cut the mic in and out, made it echoey. Not much you can do about that when you're both, like 30 states away from each other.
Yeah, a few thousand miles.
Yeah.
And time zone.
And I know his camera's frozen because of the connection, so I, again, apologize. But at least you can hear him. That's what matters.
So is my camera frozen?
Your camera is frozen for me, yes.
Huh. Okay,
But that's okay.
That's weird.
We're getting towards the end anyway. So, yeah. Moving on to the Cup race.
I don't really want to talk about this race.
Don't blame you.
You're doing really, really good until got loose and got up in the wall and then broke something and wrecked the field.
Yeah.
Causing a green-white checkered that handed the race to a wrecked race car.
Yes, they did. That was interesting. And honestly, that wrecked race car just kind of came out of the blue there at the final lap. I didn't even know he was there till then, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, he had gotten fresh tires on that next to last pit stop, or next to last caution.
Which would make sense. So, yeah, but 23-11 goes back to back. 2 for 2. So,
yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, just another way to laugh at NASCAR, I guess. Again, is to just keep winning and winning.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went 3 for 3 this weekend with COTA. Tyler Reddick's very good at COTA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tyler Reddick gets it done. Of course, I would say that was more on because Carson Hocevar ruffled some feathers. But that's Carson Hocevar for you.
A lot of feathers.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why they call him the Hurricane.
Yep. The Hurricane. So Austin Cindric, who went 30th to first.
And Bubba kind of threw a bad block.
Yeah. Yeah, that I would agree. He did. So yeah. Austin Cindric won stage 1, going from 30th to first.
Thinking Austin.
Go ahead.
I thought he was going to win that. I thought he was going to be able to pull off the win in the race. I mean, the way he came from the back of the field to the front of the field, him and Christopher Bell both.
Yeah.
And Chase Briscoe. But the way Austin came up that first stage, I was like, oh man, we're in trouble. Uh, this guy's got it.
Yeah. He was definitely showing it for sure during stage one. Excuse me. However, sadly, hey, well, I say sadly, but I don't really mean sadly. He was caught up in that wreck, I believe, when Byron broke a toe link and took out the field, taking Austin out as well. So Bubba Wallace wins stage 2. So there's that. And then, of course, Tyler Reddick wins the race. I really don't have much to say about this race because we kind of already talked about it. Carson Hocevar, you were up there, but you were ruffling feathers for sure. Well, I say you were up there. You were 2 laps down at the beginning from a tire going down. And then came back and finished 4th after ruffling quite a few feathers.
Well, huge shout out to Shane Van Gisbergen, who finished 6th after getting wrecked on the final lap of the second stage by Kyle Larson, the best driver in the world, just deciding that he's going to go from top of the track to the bottom of the track for whatever reason.
Yeah, Kyle Larson literally said, "I turn left now. Good luck, everybody else." We see
Right?
how
That's basically it.
we see how that worked out for him. So that was a dumb move. I don't know what to say about that. That was, to me, that's just another tally of why I don't consider him the best. He's good, yes, but I don't think he's the best. So, yeah, Tyler Reddick wins. Chase Briscoe 2nd. Ross Chastain 3rd. The best finish we've seen him get in a while. Carson Hocevar 4th. Daniel Suarez 5th. As you said, Shane Van Gisbergen 6th. His best oval finish of all time. So he's still continuing to improve. Zane Smith 7th, Bubba Wallace 8th, Ryan Preece 9th, and Ryan Blaney rounding up your top 10. And this actually tells me the fastest lap went to Cole Custer.
That's a weird person to have the fastest lap, but okay.
Well,
it is what it is.
I don't know. Maybe Haas factory team switching back to Chevy is going to show us something this year. Who knows?
It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Yeah, and I'll mention that because we need to talk about points, right? Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace are 1st and 2nd in points, and Tyler Reddick has a 40-point lead on Bubba Wallace already. And this isn't going to be a situation to where, if a driver gets 300-400 points ahead, which is possible in the system, they're going to pretty much get that regular season championship, which is going to give them those 25 points going into the chase, which still gives them an advantage. I mean, maybe not a point advantage, but it's definitely going to give them a mental advantage over the rest of the field, because the rest of the field is going to be like, this dude's been kicking our butts all year, and now he's going into the chase with a lead. He's probably going to continue to kick our butts.
Yeah. And as I already said, we could see Reddick do this, especially we could see him go 3 for 3 with Coda coming up. So that could add on even more. So yeah, as we said at the beginning of this episode, every point is going to matter for these guys. So Yeah, right now, point-wise, you got Reddick in first, Wallace in second, as you said. Elliott is third. Hocevar fourth, Zane Smith fifth, Logano sixth, Suarez seventh, Blaney eighth, Keselowski ninth, Busher 10th, Chastain 11th, Gregson 12th, Byron 13th, Priest 14th, Briscoe 15th, SVG sitting at 16th. Those going down to 20, kind of looking outside in. Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, John Hunter Nemechek, and Michael McDowell. And then if you continue to kind of look at the points breakdown, a lot of these guys are 1 to 2, 3 points under 16th place. So every point will matter, for sure.
You know, I know we talked about our preseason predictions, but seeing how SVG ran at the Clash, seeing as how he did at Daytona, how he did at Atlanta, we know he's going to be a wrecking force on the road courses. I mean, he could very easily win all of the road courses this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if he continues this run on these ovals and maybe sneaks him a win or two on the Rovals, we could be looking at an SVG with the most wins on the season and making the chase and being a legit top 5 contender. I'm not going to say he's going to be a championship contender, but he will definitely, if he stays consistent, he will definitely be able to give a top 10, maybe even close to the top 5 in the chase.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah.
That's all I've got.
Well, I'll just, if that's the case, we can wrap up here in just a minute. I just want to touch on fantasy real quick. Fantasy's back going, of course. I boo-booed and didn't remind you to put your lineup in for Daytona. So I've got a race head start. Not that it's going to matter in the long run, because you'll come back and take me by 1,000 points like you always do anyway. So I'm sitting in first with 307 points. You're sitting in second with 169. I got 142 from Daytona, and then 165 from EchoPark. You got 100. You're 169 from EchoPark, Atlanta. So one race, you already had 4 points on me. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next, 3-4 races we're much closer in points. So I'll just throw in my roster, and I think you can see which one killed me here. I had Byron, Logano, Keselowski, Hocevar, Elliott, and then I had Blaney in my garage. The matchups have already reset. But the one that got me was most likely Byron with his late race crash, point-wise.
Yeah, I had him too. Didn't do me no favors.
Yeah.
Didn't have Reddick though. Probably should have.
Yeah.
I can't remember everybody that I had, but I did not have Reddick. Probably should have. Probably should stop overlooking him on these tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's been overlooked quite a bit, but I think maybe we need to take Reddick a little bit more serious on these drafting tracks.
Yep. I would agree.
I mean, obviously he's won the last 2.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So, yeah. Only other little fun news I've got is, I don't know if you saw it, debuting this weekend, is basically a reversed Chili's Dente scheme. Black. Thought that was interesting. Some people are starting to say a host of ours starting to give off Dale Earnhardt Sr. vibes. I just wanted to get your...
No.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Nope.
Fair enough.
Doesn't have a quarter of the talent. He makes bad decisions. Earnhardt made calculated decisions. Yeah, no, it's not even close.
I was just throwing it in there to see what you would say, because I know you watched Earnhardt. So cool. Anyways, yeah, that's it. We got Coda and the trucks at St. Petersburg, if you want me to say the whole thing. And then Phoenix after that. So, well, yeah, I say Phoenix. Trucks won't be at Phoenix, but trucks won't be back till the 20th of March for Darlington. So,
yep.
Trucks will be on a break, but the other two series will still be going strong. But we'll be back with an episode after Phoenix. We'll attempt our best to do every other two races. I am moving this summer, and it's a big move. I'm moving almost back home, technically. Yay. So I will be probably in some odd locations during the summer for some episodes, but we'll see. Maybe everything will land right where you won't really notice except the background difference. But we'll see, because there's still details to work out all that. So, yeah. Got any other closing comments?
Y'all just check out all of the guys that we tell y'all to follow. Check them out down in the description. Get your diecast from Circle B Diecasts. We're going to continue to push them until they tell us to either shut up or start helping us get some diecasts to review. Still got the Daytona 500 diecast sitting here from last year that I still need to review. But we've had a lot going on, so that's kind of what happens when you start building your own business, so to speak. So things take a back seat. But yeah, that's all I got. We will see you guys after the next race, or next couple of races.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out all the partners down the link below, along with all of the podcasts and X handles, and of course Circle B. All links down to the description down below. Of course, all the codes for the partners also in the description below for when you go to check out. Of course, you got W Gearless Injury Blend, Rankest Rope Ranch Wear, Undrdog Athletix, Follow Him Apparel, and POGGERS Energy. Fun fact, I am working on a new partnership. So make sure you go follow me on Twitter. It's also linked down in the description below for that announcement that I'm working on. Super excited for that one. It'll be a good one. So yeah, we'll see you after the next couple races. Stay tuned. Continue to love life. Watch me turn in circles with the sim. Not that I was turning circles this previous Monday night. I was actually doing a lot more right turning as we had the 87 Cup cars at Lime Rock Park. So that was an interesting. Recommend checking that out. But yeah, that's all I got. So again, thank you guys for listening, watching. We'll see you in the next one. So just a reminder to be bold, share Jesus, right on.